Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, investors, lurkers. Okay, let's get a little bit serious. So, the whole point I'm doing this, and I'll just let people trickle in for a second, um, is right now is a crazy, crazy time in crypto, especially for those of you who invested into Terra Luna, which me and a lot of my friends got into this project. But I'm just gonna let people trickle in. Is there a reverb? Is it bad? It's just the room. Maybe put some headphones on and we can hear. No, it sounds okay. It's okay enough. All right. So I had to do some technical checkups for that one. Thank you very much. It sounds fine. Um, yeah, but if you're just kind of tuning in, I wanted to kind of create this live today. One, because in my private Jomalia Facebook group, it was alerted to me. This guy was like, let me show you. He was like, hey, man, I should have had this stuff ready. Basically, I was alerted about, obviously, I know what's been going on. And sometimes I don't know. And who am I kidding? No one's really concerned. Some people just want gossip. Some people are actually concerned, but I think some people just want to be a dick. In this case, I really don't know. But I think it's pretty normal to like react this way when you either root for something or you're against something, right? So like when you're like a part of sports, or if you're a part of just something like a maybe even politics, maybe something you're all about. Yes, I am in my house right now. Do you like my new office? Yeah. But let me tell you something. This is kind of what sparked the reason for the stream today. So I want to share this screen. Okay. And we got, let me see, the new Jomalia Facebook. All right, I'm gonna share this with you guys. I feel like a boomer on this thing trying to figure out how to work it. All right, here we go. So in my private Facebook page right here, it's taking a little bit to scroll up. Man, why is it so slow? Okay. But anyways, Moran, I can't pronounce your name, but he was like, damn, Steve Green is in the mud, right? So he wrote this. And yeah, he has this post. Yeah, Steve did post when he was celebrating $100 in Luna. And it looks like here that he's posting the dump of Luna. Thanks, guys. Nexus and Toby, you guys. Oh man, you guys are so sweet, dude. But I'm gonna get into this. What's up, Terra Luna? What's up, you guys? I see you in the comments. So when I saw this post, I was like, oh yeah, okay. I can't really tell if he's like just shocked. I don't think he's rubbing it in our faces, I think he's a nice person. There are obviously people who laugh to this. But that's just the way things go online. People forget that you're a human being sometimes. And that's okay. And for me, here's the thing. For me, this isn't my first rodeo. If you guys have never heard of me before, you're just tuning in or whatever, this is my second time losing $1 million in crypto. And I'll get to the story. I'll get to the whole thing of why. And then so in the comments here, people are like, yo, man, I hope they sold. Oh, no, he got a new house. Is he okay? Whatever, right? And in my comment, I said, yeah, this isn't my first rodeo. I learned my lesson from the last run. I had some nets in place, but some people got completely wiped out. Okay. And I feel super bad for them. And I actually feel worse for them than I do for myself. So me and Steve, we've been spending these past couple of days, talking with people, supporting them. And so also I reached out to my Facebook page and I said, anyone here who got wrecked in stocks and cryptos, both of them is not doing so hot right now. And I said, during this time of need, if you guys need to talk to someone, let me know. Okay. And it's because if you've been through something in the past, like if you're a veteran, like if you've been through war and back, you can be there for people who need help, right? So that's basically what I opened up. I said, yo, I promise your life goes on. The things that really matter, not numbers behind a screen. All right. You can make more. And remember that you have friends and family that love you, right? And then so like people right here are basically talking, they're just like, yeah, I was gonna buy the dip. I fucking lost 5K. Got it. Totally understand. But then I said, you know what? There's a huge group out there of people that like beyond crypto, right? There's like hella people and bigger audience that I have on YouTube. There's people outside of the crypto space. There's hella people on Twitter right now, and people that lost money for the first time in something so crazy. And yeah, I mean, like you can be a dick right now and kick people while they're down. That's fine. And, you can be that kind of human being if you want to. But what I choose to do is kind of reach out and look for people out there that basically want support in a time like this. Because the thing is, what I have is I have friends, I have family, I have people that are seasoned veterans in investing in volatile things, whether it's crypto, whether it's crazy, risky business adventures and things like that. So because of this, I feel like, oh, you know what? I'll come right back. I'm all good. But what I wanted to do is reach out to everybody out there who might be on this journey alone, because you somehow found crypto. You somehow found a place where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna, do this as a way to get out of poverty, get out of like finally make it, whatever. It's a lot of people's first time doing something that's so adventurous and risky. And I just want to like create a space where you guys can talk to me. And you can hear my story. You can realize that you're not such a loser after all. Because today we're going to talk about I am a huge loser. Yeah. And I've won a lot in life, but it's not about that, because it's not about me bragging. It's not about me coming out here and saying like, yo, at the end of the day, I fucking crushed it. Because aside from me making fun YouTube videos, going on adventures, eating food with, all of my friends and stuff, there's a backside to me that I don't really talk about, which is my investment side, which is my business side, and all the like mechanics that go behind all the things I do in entertainment. And one of the things that I don't really talk about enough is really the downside, because a lot of the times in social media, what all of us try to do is we get caught up in showing our wins. TKC, yes, my backside. I just caught that. I'll give you a good ass look at my backside, baby. But a lot of the times on on Instagram, or just even like business influencers, or just people that are like, a part of that hashtag hustle life, or just whatever, right? But like a lot of the times you show a lot of wins. Some of these people, they never really won and they're just like pretending, but like at least from what I know and what I've seen, a lot of the times people they show their wins, but they don't show their losses. And I'm here to let you know that a lot of people that are very successful, they have tons of losses. They have tons of bankruptcies. It's never this like all the way win all the fucking time. And this is what we sign up to do. When you're a risky investor, you sign up to basically lose it all. Not only lose it all, some people not only lose it all, they lose other people's money. They lose money that they loan. They lose money that they, handle for other people. Some people are just like, I think they have a good heart and they're just like, yo, this is a great thing that I found. I found gold. Let me do this for you, Dad. Let me let me do this favor for you. I'll get you set up, whatever. People get excited, right? And I think there comes a time in everyone's stage of like investing and all that stuff, right? Where you get really excited and you just want to help all your friends and family. And you have such a strong belief in what you're doing that like you never think it's going to end. And then the hard truth is that sometimes these things don't work out the way you want it to, right? And then what ends up happening is like it does crush. And then it crushes your sense of self, your confidence. You can't turn to those people that you once made promises to. And although we can sit here and laugh at this, because I can laugh at myself for doing this, I can laugh at other people for doing this, but really, what do we do by kicking someone when they're down? Like, you're not really like helping no one, right? Which leads me to the next thing. There's a lot of times when, every huge market boom and every huge like drop, there's really a lot of like suicide, major depression, certain things that come along with it. And for me, that's my biggest concern, is that it has been brought to my attention that not everyone can handle this the way that me and my friends do. And so like, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and say it at any point. I can kind of like go back to my points, but like I said, it's fun to kind of go around and clown and joke around. And I think in all honesty though, like a lot of the times this is people's very first time in doing something so risky. Thank you very much, Chantel. I'm going to just put you right here for this big, beautiful shout out. Thank you very much. Now that I'm a broke mofo, I'm going to need that for my lunch money. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that kind of threw me off real quick. But thank you very much, Chantel. You are awesome. Hold on, where was I at? Okay, so here's the sad part. Here's the serious part, okay? Now, again, in my Citizens to Jomalia page here, this was brought to my attention. And Rants over here said, there's a DJ that I really enjoy. He's recently passed away at the age of 30. At the age of fucking 30, dude. And it was believed that he was suffering deep depression for a couple of years after losing his savings in crypto. I was completely devastated. Now, I don't know who this DJ is. It says Delete DJ. You guys know this dude? So this is kind of what breaks my heart, right? Is like, to me, money comes and goes. I've been broke many times. I've been like rich many times. This is my second time losing $1 million. And for me, I just don't think it just breaks my heart when I find out like people kill themselves because of money. And how much of it is like, it breaks my heart, because it's like no amount of money is worth your life. especially if you're suffering some kind of depression already. Your heart, your soul, everything is so volatile, right? And then you're going into something like as crazy as crypto. That to me is just like, dude, like, I wish people that weren't like, if their heart wasn't like in check. I'm just like, fuck, dude. I really, yeah, I just really hope that uh we kind of try to save as many people as possible from going at, jumping off a cliff or whatever. Because to me, it doesn't make any sense, man. It's just, money's not that important. Do you guys remember this? Robin Hood, sorry, suicide. 24-year-old Robin Hood customer. Yeah, this one. Do you guys remember this shit? Do you guys remember that 20-year-old man? Fuck, I don't want to buy your ads, dude. Get the fuck away from me. Do you guys remember this shit? 20-year-old Robinhood customer dies by suicide after seeing a $730,000 negative balance. Okay. We did a JK News about this shit. Note found on this parent. Simple. How was a 20-year-old no income? How did he get it out of leverage? Okay. Anyways, I think he did it out of it was like not even real. Man, I don't want to fucking pay for this shit. I don't want to pay for that shit. Stupid ads. Yeah. But see, there's just a lot of incidents like this. Yeah, there's like a lot of crazy things that go down. And so, okay, people getting hit hard because there's so many moon boys on socials. It's a shame. Yes, thank you for that. I'm gonna buy you beer one day with the money you gave me. So to me, I was just like, dude, that's freaking crazy. Like, I was like, it was like, so after it was brought to my attention, I started having all these memories about like the stuff that we did on JK News. I was like, damn, there's so many people out there that this is their everything. This is their life. This is their heart. This is their soul. This is also their identity. Because you're right. Just about, the comment that you made about the moon boys. There's so many moon boys out there that this becomes who they are. Like if you're a Bitcoin dude, Ethereum dude, whatever it is, right? And I think, to me, it's really sad in crypto right now when you have dudes from different projects treating it like their sacred sports team. And basically, what ends up happening is like you're like rooting for a crypto to fail. And at this point, you don't want any of that shit to fail. If you let's say you're like your team, I don't know, Solana or whatever, right? And if you want one cryptocurrency to fail, you're actually not helping the overall goal right now. Like if you're rooting for for a stable coin to plunder, what's going to end up happening is, one, the government's going to overreach. Now, I'm not against government regulation. I'm not against adoption from the market. Like I'm not, we need all of that. It's better for it's way better for the industry. But if you're rooting for your enemy stable coin to fail, that's fucked up. All of that shit is really bad for crypto, because what ends up happening is now there's going to be a reason for overreaching from the government. They can control all of that, and that goes against the whole point of it, right? You don't want too much regulation. You don't want too much control, because then it's just going to be just like fiat. And there's a lot of issues that come along with, I think, that infighting, because at the same time, like what happened right now with Terra dragging everything down, like Bitcoin went down, and I'm just looking at the stable coins. A lot of other stable coins got thrown off the peg. So, and if you guys don't understand what that means, is so these stable coins are supposed to represent the dollar, the ones that resemble a dollar, right? And it's supposed to be like whatever's a dollar, it matches this stable coin. Now, let me try to break it down as simple as possible, because it doesn't make sense if I'm preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying? So let me share this screen. Okay, so this is what a stable coin is, right? So you have Tether, and you have USDC coin, Binance, Terra USD. That's the number 4 one right here, right? So the difference is what they're backed by. Some are backed by fiat, and some are backed by algorithm. Fiat, for you guys don't know, it's basically that dollar, that paper money. Okay, it's government tender, right? And algorithmic I almost said tenderloins. Algorithmic stable coins. Basically, that's what Terra Luna was. So basically, for Terra Luna, they were tied to the Luna coin, and the way that it worked is, like back in the day, the U.S. Treasury, the U.S. dollar was tied to gold, right? And then it became just like debt. But without getting into too much detail, this is the difference between the different kinds of stable coins. And so what a peg is, it's like tied to the dollar. You want it to represent $1. It's supposed to keep that integrity, right? So you could trade it and use it as if it was $1 without trading it back to $1. So people would use Tether to go back and forth on Bitcoin. You use USD coin. This one is the coin they use on Coinbase. Some of you guys that first bought crypto, you probably bought it on Coinbase. Binance is another exchange. And Terra was a part of the Terra Luna network. And so well, obviously you see here it's 79 cents right now, right? And it was dipping, it was going crazy. But there's a lot of different theories right now as to why this happened. But without getting into too much of that, I think I want to first go back to talking about my journey into crypto. And I don't know how many of you guys here own crypto. How many of you guys here do crypto? Also, how many of you guys are exposed to stocks? How many of you guys are, what do you call it? Like, how many guys got wrecked from Terra? I think that's a good question too. Because today we're only going to talk about losses. I don't want to. Ryan's a 2016 bet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, to me, it's a bit pointless to talk about wins, because today is all about losses, baby. And I'll tell you one of my biggest losses. Okay. I'm with you. Early stages of crypto. Learned about it 2016. Whoa. Since 2015? Wow. That's an old school time. Well, for crypto, it's old school. Yeah. So for me, my journey started in 2016 or 2017. Yeah. That's around the time when a lot of my friends were getting Bitcoin. They were crushing it on Ethereum, stuff like that. And that's around the time when I really talked to Steve about crypto. And Steve made an absolute killing on Ethereum. And I think he got it like less than $10. It was outrageous. And I started really listening to what this whole crypto thing was about. And every end of the year around December, what I like to do is basically buy a little gold for myself. So um, at the time, gold, an ounce of gold, and one Bitcoin was the same price. It was like $1,000. So if you guys look in the charts back in the day, around I think it was December of 2016 or 17. Wait, yeah, no, 17 was the pump. Getting my days mixed up. But yeah, I think it was the end of that. I was on the fence and I was like, oh man, but this Bitcoin thing, like, is it gonna last? I don't know. And so what I did is I bought 20 ounces of gold. So I had $20,000 and I bought 20 ounces of gold. And boy, if that 20, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like, who would have thought? And in retrospect, I think it's just always so much easier to look backwards and say, oh, if only, oh, you know, like if only, if I did that, what would end up happening was I would have probably had like at least 5 mil in Bitcoin. But today, like I said, we are talking about losses because it's not about the wins, it's about bonding through losses. And so here's the thing. When I first learned about it, I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, my buddy, yo, you made 300 grand off of what? You made $1 million off of what? And I started hearing these numbers and it started going, what the fuck is happening here? And then I started accumulating. And then here comes the 2017 big pump. Everyone starts learning about it. Everyone starts knowing about it, right? And I started learning about altcoins. And I looked at different projects and all that stuff. And this one project really looked amazing to me. It was called OMG. And me and my friends got really, really into this one. At the time, I was making pretty good money. And I was like, you know what? I have a lot of money on the side to invest. And I started investing in restaurants. I started investing into different business ideas, invest like just stocks and concepts, right? But crypto, I was like, I love this new crypto thing. I think it's going to be the future. And, you know, over that year, I basically probably bought about $250,000 of this particular coin called OMG. And while we saw a nice little pump, and I believe it was at the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018, there was a huge, nice little alt pump. It was called the first nice, massive alt season. And I saw my stack. Yeah, you're right, TK. Yeah. Well, oh my God, Robert Brown, man. Hey, I recognize you from Jamali in my comments. What's up, dude? You are very awesome. I remember you, Robert. Thank you very much. But he says, not into stocks, though I know what it's like to be broke. File bankruptcy was a 5-year eye-opening experience. I don't want to be in debt like that ever again. Bankruptcy is not fun. But I'm glad you're here, Robert. I'm glad you're alive, and I'm glad you're here to fight for another day. So basically, during that time, OMG skyrocketed, right? And I saw my portfolio based pretty much touch almost $1 million. It was like 899 or something like that, right? It was amazing. And so at that point, everybody was being moon boys. It was my first run. It was my first time seeing life-changing numbers in such a short period of time. Now, because I've done other businesses and I've ran 7-figure businesses, it wasn't the first time I've seen that much money in like an account or anything like that. And by no means am I saying this to brag or anything. I think that I'm just trying to put into perspective for you guys, like, even though I was used to those numbers, it still made a huge impact in my life. When I heard that stuff, when I saw it in the account, I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. It just million and I didn't have to work so dang hard. This is nuts, right? And it's really like the lottery. And I didn't treat it like a true investment or anything like that. I think I treated it like, hey man, I don't really know too much about this crypto shit, but I'm winning. I love it. But overall, I loved the community. I loved what it was about. You know, it wasn't just any old money making concept. I think that was one of the greatest aspects of it because it gave power to, you know, everyday people. Like it gave life changing opportunities for normal people like us. And investing is called the retail investor. That's people like me and you, right? Like people that don't have access to, you know, massive like trust funds or just even you have to go through a whole stockbroker, you have to go through all that stuff. You know, that's why usually rich people make more money because they have access to all that shit. And most everyday people like us, all we have is we go to the bank and we save money or whatever. But people investing, people making hella money for the very first time, I think average everyday people, it came from this. It came from like even Robinhood. It came from all these opportunities. And now common everyday people, we can have access to this stuff. And I think crypto was a lot of people's first entryway to that. And don't get me wrong, I've had stocks. I have a retirement. I have something that's called a SEP IRA. It's different from a Roth IRA, but basically that's like when you're an entrepreneur or a freelancer, you don't have 401ks, you don't have a way to save, but the government gives you an opportunity to put money away for your retirement. And then you have the choice of what you want to do with that account. You can buy stocks and whatever, right? So, yes, so I had exposure to stocks, meaning like I had stocks, but the way that I approached crypto was completely different. And I think it was the main aspect, the more revolutionary aspect about it. It's like it wasn't just investing into a company, but it was really about investing into a future of decentralized like finance and not allow the banks to control everything, because I thought it was so unfair the way that our banking system works. It, you know, the reason why we had the recession, the reason why we had a lot of these problems were because people that are supposed to be our leaders, that are supposed to be people that are managing our money, they misused it. They let people that shouldn't be buying homes buy them. And then what happened at the end when we hit the recession is all these guys got bailed out. You know, none of the guys involved got in trouble. And we moved on from that. And we're continuously seeing things like that, right? Like right now, we see the government basically, they're doing the same thing. They printed a lot of money. You know, there's a lot of people that are in trouble that need help, but I think it never goes to the right people. Also, I think, you know, there's just a lot of issues that I think crypto and the people a part of crypto and decentralized finance are really trying to change. And for me, because I have such a heart invested into the mission behind crypto and the reasons why people are doing it, I was like, this is why not only am I so hardcore about it, it's also a huge mission for me. And then so all of that tied together, you know, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of idealism, there's a lot of speculation, there's just a lot of plain stupid faith, right? And we're basically making all this money, and everyone thinks that it's going to last forever. And this is the first time when we saw it, and it happened in less than a week. In less than a week, it just went boom. And if you guys remember what happened during that time, the first massive dip, right? Everyone got wiped. People had so much money for the first time in their lives, and they got absolutely like wiped out. If you were in altcoins, you saw your shit dip dramatically. And over the years during the bear, so if you guys don't know what a bear is, that's when the stock market is on the down, or that's when any market is like down, right? A bull is when it goes up. So during the whole crash, everything went down, 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 down for a couple of years. It didn't start recovering until a couple of years ago. So we saw several years of it pretty much down. And during that time, I saw my account, my own, like the money that I had in OMG, that went from 800 something $1,000 to basically $10,000. And so this is what we call in the game hodling, right? Hold on for dear life. And there's something that's called realized gains and, realized losses. So when you have an investment, like let's say you're invested into Walmart, or if you're invested into anything, right? Once you buy this, like let's say you buy this coin, you buy Bitcoin, you buy Walmart, whatever it is, let's say you buy it and you bought it for like $5, right? And let's say it goes down to $1 and you're like, oh no, I lost this money. Oh no, right? And so when you sell it, because you're freaked out, you're just like, oh my God, it went to $1. And then you sell this, then you realize a loss. You lost $4 because you bought it for $5, you lost $4. So now you're left at $1. Same thing happens when it goes up. Let's say you buy Bitcoin for $5, and then 2 months later, oh my God, hell yeah, it's $10, right? It's $10. Woo! So you decide to sell it. So you realize a gain and a profit of $5, and you get to keep the $5 that you put in, right? So that's called a realized gain. But let's say you don't sell it at all. Let's just say you're freaking out because your Bitcoin that you bought for $5, you're just like, oh my God, it's dipping, right? And you're like, it's only $1, but you don't sell it. So what ends up happening is you're just waiting because you didn't realize a true gain or a true loss. You're just waiting. And then if it goes back up to $5, no harm, no foul. It might even go up to $10 and you still bought it for $5, right? So this is where I think people don't quite understand when they talk about wins or losses. Technically at the time, I never realized my $800,000 gain. And so my principal that I put into crypto at the time was about $250,000. So the way that I see it is, hey, maybe I lost like 200,000 ish, but I didn't sell. So I didn't lose. And so this is where it gets tricky, right? So like I didn't sell, I held on, I diamond handed that bitch, I kept my money. And because of that reason, I weathered through the storm. It gave me a lot of anxiety. It made me feel like shit. And on top of that, at the time, I was a very young soul getting into business. I didn't really know how things worked, right? And I didn't really understand the concept of write-offs. Now, business write-off is when you take money and let's say you use it on the business. Let's say you have to get a cargo van because you have to ship your, let's say you have like a mushroom farm, right? So you need to buy a tractor. You need to buy fucking rakes. You need to buy hose, right? So because of all these equipment you need to buy, you have to spend money to buy it, right? Or let's say like it's a cost of doing business. Everything you have to spend, the government lets you write those off in taxes. Okay. So without getting too detailed in all this shit, I don't want to complicate you guys because I know sometimes I try to find the most simplest way to explain something without boring people. But just let me know if I'm losing you guys because there's so much to explain when it comes to technical shit and like, yeah. Anyways, so I didn't really know fully the idea of write-offs. I just thought that if you spent the money on something that was like an investment, right? So like, let's say like something I considered an investment was like, oh, I need to invest in cars for my business. If I had a car rental business or whatever, right? So yeah, at the time, my dumbass thought that, I'm spending money on an investment, which is a cryptocurrency. And I thought, oh, that was a cost of doing business. Fine, let's go. And I didn't really know much back then. So this is what ended up happening. The government sees first and foremost, the way you make income, if you make income as an entrepreneur, that money that comes in, it gets taxed at the end of the year. They let you use the money first, and at the end of the year, you get taxed. If you're working as an employee, you guys will see on your pay stub, right? All the taxes, all that stuff will get taken out first, and then you get paid. So this is why it gets confusing, because what most people do, if you're working a job, you got a salary or whatever, you get that paycheck, and then you do stuff like, maybe buy crypto, maybe buy stocks or whatever after you get paid, right? But for some business people, what they would do is they got to use the money first. And so for me, what I ended up doing was I used the money first. So I didn't pay the taxes on the money yet, because I pay at the end of the year, next year. And so because I didn't know this and I didn't understand how this worked, the $250,000 ish, the government saw that as just profit, because I used money that that I didn't account for, and so that I had to pay taxes on. And as a single male who made the highest bracket of money in California, it was brutal. They take close to 50% of your income. And so that shit was brutal. I owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes the next year. And I said, holy crap, all my money's in crypto and other investments, and I have money left over to live. I have an emergency fund, but what am I going to do? And this was my first experience of, oh shit. And this was in 2018. And 2018 was super brutal for me, guys. I had no money left, and I said, how am I going to pay back close to $200,000? The clock is ticking. Every month that I'm late, the IRS absolutely is on my ass. And on top of that, there's interest. So you start owing more and more and more. And it was so crazy, right? And yes, I have a CPA. I have people that are super financially savvy. I have so many people around me that I could have asked, but I was being a fucking complete dumbass. And this is my first experience in all of this stuff. And I'm just telling you guys my first round of losing $1 million, because like, hopefully, if you're listening to this, you don't feel like a dumbass, because no one fucked up as hard as I did. Maybe some other people has, but I'm just letting you know, like I was in a crazy place, right? So at the time, there was a lot of things going on. I wasn't making enough to cover what I had. And at the same time, like I said, a lot of my money and net worth was trapped in different investments, in things that were going to potentially make me money. Yeah, different things, right? So it wasn't liquid, meaning like I couldn't just pull it out of a house. I couldn't just pull it out of this business. I couldn't sell my shares. Well, I didn't want to, because I had a lot of hope in that, right? So I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm just sitting here, like, I had no emotions. I had no cries. I had no tears. I also was going through a very rough time in my relationship. As some of you guys know, that part of the story, it was a really rough time for me. But what's crazy is, I want to say like 2 years ago from that, I had the most fucking money in my bank account than I ever had. just sitting there cash. I was on a high of life, but I had everything I wanted, right? I had an awesome apartment. I had like 2 luxury cars. I had all this stuff. But I think I was way sadder then than the time that I lost everything. And it's I have a crazier story for all of that, but that was the weird part, right? The weirdest part is I was much more sad with more money in my bank account. And I was so much happier. Well, not the happiest, but I was in a better place, even though I was in debt for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I owed the tax man. And it was just a rough time. And I'll get to why, because, I want to get through this. But that's the moment when I was like, I could either run away, be a coward, I could cry, I could beg my friends to help me. I could do a lot of things right now, you know? I could do a lot of stuff right now to run away. And I actually did the opposite. I said, you know what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I have great credit. I did a lot in my life to make sure I had a lot of options if anything went to shit. Because I was like, you know what? There's so many at the time I had like 30 people on my staff. I had so many people that relied on me as a partner to their business and all that. And I said, the last thing I want to do is burden my friends from my greed. I don't want to be that guy that has to, pay my team less because I was the one that chose to invest recklessly. I don't want to be the guy that begs his friend for money to help him out. I was like, I got to figure out my way out my way, right? So I basically was able to get hella loans, personal loans. I did that to pay off the IRS because the interest was so fucking high for that one. It was going to basically ruin me. So I paid that shit. On top of that, I was able to sit down and create some new business ideas that raked in over $150,000 that year. And it was just a good time for me where I basically got to push my teams and I said, hey, you know what? I want all of us to make money right now because there's a lot of us that got hit. Are you guys down? This is the year of the hustle. Let's get together. And we did so well that year too that for 2 years consecutively, me and my business partners were able to give over $100,000 in just bonuses. And to me, I was like, dude, this is the kind of stories, this is the kind of stuff. This is why struggle is good. Like sometimes when you're at the peak of your lowest moment, when you feel like there's no one that's going to help you, when you feel like you have nothing left, you made a big mistake. Why did you do this? Right? That's when you turn around and you go, fuck this shit, man. Life goes on. We're going to move. We're going to build. We're going to fucking get together and we're going to crush this. We're going to absolutely crush this. And this is when I realized, like, you know what? Money is nothing. Your friendship, the type of people that you have around you, the people that you want to fight with, they're everything, right? And I was just super grateful that, like, over the years, like, all the people that I've helped out, all the people that trust me and everything, we were able to just band together and find new ways of making income, find new ways of creating more content, whatever. And I think that this is really like what taught me the first loss. It was painful, but the aftermath, what I learned from it, what I did to gather up the troops, get together and build back, fucking win, right? that's where I almost forgot like how bad the pain was. And so like this is why I wanted to reach out to anybody out there that was is going through any type of loss in crypto and stocks or just in life. I'm here to let you guys know, like, as a all-time two-time loser, someone who lost a mill, brought it up again in crypto, um, you can do it. It might not be in crypto, it might not be in stocks, but you'll find the means. And sometimes just fucking losing lights a fire in your ass. The motivation is so good and so strong. It's like being thrown out of the house. And some of us need that shit. And so I think that's my first story, right? So it's not my first rodeo, right? So this is what I did to get out of that, right? I was able to pay back the money, but I still believed in crypto. And as time went by, I just put a little money in here and there. And like I said, guys, I saw my account go from 800,000 plus to $10,000. That run was really brutal. And not only that, I would say I lost more because I had to spend a couple $100,000 paying back my taxes, right? But the difference here is I actually had other means of income. And right now, I have hella friends. I have people that got completely wiped out. I know people in the Luna community or crypto community, this is their only form of income, or they don't have much earning potential, right? Like I'm the lucky one out of this because I have earning potential, meaning like I have a lot of access to different ways of making income. Because I'm not like, it's not like I work at a restaurant or something like that. Some people were millionaire restaurant workers, right? And they got absolutely wiped out. And it's going to be hard for them to build back their stack. But not to say they can't do it. I'm just saying, like, man, there's definitely a lot of struggle there. And a little bit of me feels a little bit of survivor's guilt, I would have to say, because I got to leave Luna a little bit cleaner than a lot of my friends. Yeah, some of my friends were, borrowing from their businesses. They were, yeah, they're helping up their families, trying to help make money for their families and whatever. And I think my heart goes out mainly to all that shit because that's the hard part. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ava, I don't know if you heard that story, but not everyone here watches JK. Some people are here from the crypto community or whatever. I have a YouTube channel called Just Kidding News, Just Kidding Films. We've been on YouTube for like the last 15 years. And I always wanted a business where I can basically take the holidays off a whole month, because I always thought that it was, really important for people to just be with family, especially in entertainment. It's not so here's the thing is, like, in entertainment, like a lot of people in LA, they're not local. Like a lot of people come to LA to work in entertainment. So majority of our staff was not local. And I thought that it would be a nice gesture to give people 4 weeks off, but still pay them. And so I created a business model where people work 11 months and get paid for 12 months. And that was not the only thing. They get paid their average salary, but every year I wanted to let people reap the rewards and benefits of, our wins, because they were a part of it too. So not only did they get a salary, and a lot of the times we were giving really good competitive editing salaries and stuff like that, they also received bonuses that we did, like a couple $100,000 a year, that it was my profit that I just decided to share with them. Oh, and another thing is we did a company trip, all expenses paid every year. And I think that this is the, the thing is, like, the reason why people should become, in my opinion, the reason why people should become business owners is because you see everything that you don't like in the world. And you want to do something different, and you have the power to do so. If you want to create a different company, if you want to create different rules, different hours, whatever, then do so. And I was like, I'm not going to complain about it anymore. I always felt that this restaurant ran it wrong. This business did it wrong. And at the time, I was like, I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to make an awesome lifestyle for people that want to, go with me on this. But anyways, that was just my like YouTube story, and that's how I generated a lot of the income for my investments and stuff like that. And I've been on YouTube for 15 years. I started off just making videos as a freaking joke, and it kind of ran in through that. And of course, right now we're talking about losses, we're talking about crypto, but that's how I generated my income for that. And this leads me to kind of where we are today, right? So over that time, I only had like 10,000 left on my account. I started adding, but that 10,000 grew because, like I said, I never realized the gain or loss. I left it in the account. Now, there was a moment in 2021 or 2020? There was a moment in springtime, or was it February? Damn. The coin that I absolutely got decimated on, OMG, pumped up a little bit. And a lot of other coins started pumping up a little bit. And then so during that time, I made a few trades. And some of you crypto heads are going to love this, because what I did is I put in like a couple, like $10,000, $20,000 more. I put that in. I made some trades, right? I moved it into SNX. I thought Ethereum was going to do well, so I brought it into Ethereum. I had a few other coins, few other shit coins. And then I built my stack up to about $100,000. And I felt great. $100,000. I was like, yes. Maybe at this time, my principal was at 300-ish thousand. If you include the taxes, that's probably 400,000. But I got back $100,000, and I was like, yes, that's freaking amazing, right? So from that point on, we just kept making trades here and there. And that's when Steve found TERRA Luna, and he said, this is a great project, you got to check it out. I look at it, I see what it's about, and I was like, dude, this is fucking amazing. And it's almost too good to be true. It's freaking amazing, right? And so I still kept going with the whole Bitcoin stuff, Ethereum stuff, all the safe coins. No, not Safe Moon. I'm just saying, like, Bitcoin and Ethereum is the more like predictable. Everyone goes to that, right? So I went into so I got into, but I also got heavily into TERRA Luna. And let's just talk about the TERRA Luna side, because everything else didn't dip as hard as TERRA Luna. So with TERRA Luna, I probably invested, I want to say, like 200,000 ish, right? Over the time period, just accumulating. And at one point, I would say my highest was maybe 1.6 million or something like that in December of 2021. I think December is the first time it hit about $100 something. And yeah, I think that was the time when I was like, oh, smack, that was freaking nice. That's a huge come up from just a couple $100,000. And I know Steve has hella people that he made millionaires. I think me included, he probably made like 10 millionaires. I don't know if they're millionaires now, but during that time, It just depends, right? Like if you're all in one coin or not, or what you got. But for me, in Terra Luna, I was super happy. That coin alone, maybe $1.6 million. And to me, the beauty of the Terra network was UST, because back in the day with OMG, if I wanted to turn that back, I think there was Tether, but I was scared of using Tether because there was something called Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox is an exchange like Binance or Coinbase or whatever. They got hacked, and I got scared because their Tether, which is their stable coin, all this stuff, they got jacked. So that made me go, oh man, even though OMG's dipping right now, there's no safe place to put this money unless I make it into US dollars. Once you make it into US dollars, that's it. Game over. You get taxed. And I did my calculations. If I put it into US dollars, what would have ended up happening was I would have just lost it all just to taxes anyway. So it would have been an absolute shit. But yeah, during that time, I just didn't have anything that I felt safe, right? So at the time, yeah. So because of that, this time around, when I saw a project like Terra Luna had its own stable coin, I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is great, because what I can do is I can basically swap it into UST. It holds the same dollar value, right? I don't have to funnel this into Coinbase or anything like that. I could keep it there. It'll be quote unquote safe, right? And I thought this would be absolutely amazing to do. But here's the thing is, with crypto, these projects are all experiments. We're witnessing for the first time ever all of these things being experimented on in the marketplace. This is where you see, yes, you're right, G. It is taxable and it is absolutely claimed, but the ease of use is much easier. So let me emphasize that, because I don't want to say anything that's illegal and talk about that. And you're absolutely right. When you swap UST to Luna or any coin, every time you swap, what ends up happening is you do have to claim that on your taxes when you report it. But the ease of it is much more easier. It's not as complicated, because back then when you swapped OMG to all these other things, you had to be on exchange. But if you're on different exchanges and one doesn't take this one, back then it was absolutely way harder. It wasn't easy to swap all the time and just keep it. And you don't want to keep it on like an exchange. You have to put it on a ledger and things like that, right? But Terra Luna made it absolutely easy, because everything was self-contained. Everything was in their wallet. You have a swap option. So if you wanted to, you can basically go liquid. You can cash out as quick as you want to, and you can send it over to your Coinbase or whatever. So it was much more of an easier way to transfer your money. And I thought this was a freaking beautiful way. I was like, this is amazing. And I think that, why wouldn't people use this? The interface was awesome. The adoption, I thought, like, there were so many programs where the onboarding, meaning like you can tie this to your bank account. You're going to be able to use UST for US dollars. There was a debit card that was coming out where you can withdraw US dollars out of a ATM machine. And websites were already starting to take cryptocurrency for, travel, for gift cards, for all kinds of cool shit. And I think it was so damn juicy. It was so good because it gave so much access to using crypto in the real world. And I think that there's a lot of other projects too, but I think Terra was really at the forefront. And it's a shame that it went down the way that it did. But still, I feel like the team is awesome. I love what they were doing. And a lot of people say, oh, crypto is just speculation, is this and that. The thing is, Terra was at the cusp of being able to use this stuff. It was already being used, actually. Like, you could buy a plane ticket with fucking UST. But right now they're accepting Bitcoin, they're accepting Solana. So crypto as a whole is here to stay. Terra took a huge hit, but crypto overall, this is the beauty of it. So for me, I have no shame in the game. Like, this is what I signed up here to do. Now, at that point, I feel like there's a lot of methods that could have went wrong, but nobody expected UST to fall off its peg. I feel like a handful of people were critical. I saw some. There were some people that basically said, be careful for the same exact reasons of what happened. And some of you guys mentioned it earlier, but there's a Black Swan event. Someone kind of listed out how Terra Luna could be attacked, how it could be shorted, how it could be dumped. And that's exactly what happened. Now, there's speculation as to how. I think there was an attack because you can see basically on the ledger the movement. No one knows who. That's the thing. So the thing is, how do I put this? So there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of reasons to attack the stablecoin market. Obviously, it's a threat to the US dollar. Obviously, it, is kind of uncharted territory, and it doesn't have as many, rules. So you can hit people and run away. But this happens in stocks too. And one of the ones is Citadel. So yeah, there you go. Citadel, BlackRock, all these groups. So to give you guys a little bit of a refresher, Citadel is the GameStop guys. They were shorting GameStop, and what ended up happening was when Wall Street Bets got a hold of it, they saw it, they ended up like brutally beating their ass, right? And some people say Citadel got wise to how things work, but they also make a business out of doing this. They're like experts in this field. And so that's one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out how this rumor came to be. I think the CEO of Citadel claimed that those rumors aren't true, but or a spokesperson from the company or whatever. But which company is going to admit to it, right? I don't know. There's another one where I think BlackRock is another culprit, saying that they worked with the government. I mean, there's also with a video going around with Janet Yellen, which is, someone in the government. There's a video of her talking about how stable coins need regulation, control, all this stuff. But the thing is, yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some. This is my second time around, and I'm going to do it again. And why? Because these things are still great projects. Luna, I might chill from that a little bit, because what I invest in is public sentiment too. Projects can be amazing, and you can probably get things early. You can get things of value, meaning like if you find a good idea, project, or a team that you absolutely think is going to murder it, and then the cost of that stock, crypto, or whatever is low, you can buy it. It's still possible. I don't think crypto as a whole is gone. I think there's a lot of projects here that are still gonna boom. And so to me, saying that I give up or leave crypto or whatever, to me, that's like saying I leave stocks, and I'll never leave stocks. The same way I'll never leave real estate. Sometimes, like, even, I mean, yeah, there's just no way I'm going to leave crypto. But I would have to say that my safeguard strategy, my cash out strategy, that was where it was faulty. The stable coin is not so stable and it can be attacked. And I think that this was my flaw for the second round. And I think that a lot of people, most people, they all had I would say, a confidence about the stable coin, because the thing is, with Terra Luna, going back to how easy it was to swap, how easy it was to quickly make a move, right? I bet a lot of people were thinking that, you know what? If Luna comes crashing, easy peasy, I'm going to swap that into UST. From there, I'll just bring it back into my account. It'll stay $1, and then easy peasy, let's go, you know? And I think a lot of people truly believe that a stable coin wouldn't be hit the way that it did. Because we, aside from the old school Dow hit, and also I don't know, like with these top coins in the top 10, we haven't seen anything like this ever before being thrown off the peg. So but really, the thing is, okay, let me get back to where I was. What was I talking about? Okay, so that's basically what happened to me this round, right? Did I lose it all? No. Fuck no. I'm fucking lucky, because what ended up happening was I de-risked, meaning I sold when it was like 98. Not all of it. I still had a lot of things trapped in there. Oh shit, you're right about Wave, but I didn't know about the. Wait, is the neutrino one recently? Because I saw something get thrown off its peg today too. Oh man, that's at 80 cents. So some people are saying that this is a coordinated attack on stable coins. I don't know enough to be. To be honest, I don't know enough to make a comment on that and say like, yeah, this is real, this is fake, or whatever. Sub-Zero is absolutely right. They're pushing for a ban of USD peg stable coins. The government is pushing for a US Gov coin. Well, I don't know the details to that, but basically, that's the convenient conversation that went down right when Terra's peg went off. And this is where people are calling conspiracy. Like, how did these old ass people in the government that barely know shit about cryptocurrency, how did they like act so fast when they were so slow in the past? How did they act the day of? Was it because of convenience? They were going to have a hearing anyway on stable coins, and it just so happened that like the day that Terra dramatically drops, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's just a lot of bullshit going on, right? Sup, Davis? Can Luna recover? Shit. I think we all want to know if Luna can recover. I'm pretty sure crypto will recover. And if this is the beginning of a bear, I don't know. I think a lot of people are saying that it is. It is the catastrophic event that will start the bear. I never, I'm always like a long guy. Like, I buy, I hold, I wait, I move. And I guess like I don't trade like day trade. I trade when I hear news, when I hear things like, I think this one's gonna go out, whatever. I think so. Here's the thing, my personal thoughts on Luna. I love the project still. I think the team is fucking great. I think that what I was able to witness, the projects that were going on, Luna, the way that we were able to seemingly like the transactions are so fast. We were able to purchase things. Like it was just so awesome. And obviously everyone's going to say that about their own crypto because crypto is like religion, right? But I also think the team just had a lot going on. And the thing was, the problem is what I should say. The problem is like building back up sentiment. Even if it goes back to $1, if you're invested into this coin, how are you going to drum up public perception? People that were on the fence about Luna, now they're for sure not going out. And just like what Joe Co says here, like he goes, $3 and I'm out. I know a lot of people that are thinking that too. All I'm waiting for is the peg to go back to 1 and I'm out. All I'm waiting for is Luna to hit back a certain amount and I'm out, right? And I get it. Like, but here's the thing with crypto, I guarantee you that if it skyrockets for other reasons, maybe because there's a new set of people getting into crypto. Like every year, there's new 18-year-olds that are going to run into this stuff, right? There might be a new movement behind it. We just don't know. We absolutely don't know because like when Ethereum had their shit go down, that was like what 2016 when they went through their hack. Everyone's like, "Oh, this shit sucks." There was a huge dip. No one's saying that shit now, right? Because no one remembers. Because most people came in after 2017, and that's the thing with crypto. Like everyone got amnesia, but I would say that's the thing with human beings. Like human beings have amnesia. Like they forget so many things that were said by their politicians that always flip flop. They always, like even look at what's going on with COVID. Like all of a sudden people forgot that COVID existed and they're just like walking around like their government didn't fuck them. And they're walking around like, like this disease just magically fucking disappeared. Like whatever, right? And this is the thing is I'm more about human psychology. Where is this going to go? And that's probably going to be better than technical analysis than and understanding the sentiment, the news, understanding like what people might be hype about. So yeah, and I get it. Like there's a huge consent, like there's this huge belief amongst certain people that like Anchor was an absolute Ponzi, and it had no value and this and that. But the thing is, guys, like there's a lot of crazy shit going on in crypto in the first place, right? And I don't know yet. I really don't know. There's some, I'm not completely convinced, and so this is where I stood on it because there were so many great projects aside from Anchor. Everyone seems to just focus on Anchor, but it was too damn early. And that's the thing with cryptos. Everything is an experiment. Everything is too damn early. Nothing's being applied. Nothing's being tested like this. So everyone's just running off of hopium. Everyone's just running off of speculation. And that does a lot of fighting in imagination land. And you just got to have the balls to stick with it and go like, let's roll with it. And I see people fucking comparing TERRA to BitConnect and saying that it was just an absolute, bullshit thing going on. But like, it's not the same thing. And I think that in any boom, there's going to be a bust. In any type of run, there's going to be huge winners and huge losers. And this is the game we play when we play with crypto. It happened in the .com boom. It happened in the gold rush. It happened in many times in history. And if this is I just want to go back to what this whole thing was about. if this is your first time going through something like this, if you were invested into Terra Luna, if you were um, a part of like any type of investment where you feel like absolute shit, um, and this is the first time you guys are hearing this. Basically, this is really to hear my story, how I fucked up twice. Not completely. This is, like I said, this is not talking about my wins. I'm talking about my losses today. I've had plenty of wins and I've showed plenty of that online. But I think today is about uh, getting that copium, bro. Like, let's get together and let's talk. Let me tell you about my losses so you won't feel so bad about yours. And if you're out there and this shit's getting too serious, and if you're feeling like offing yourself and you're feeling like your life is over because you lost a lot, like, take it from me, guys. If I cashed out on that 1.6 mil, I would have been cashed out on 1.6 mil, but we don't think like that. We move forward. But to me, it's an up and down game. And every time an investment, like, it depends on what point in time in your investment. And basically, if you're looking at the time that you dipped, of course it's a loss. It's like, duh. If you're going to take a screenshot of the time that your money dipped, it's like, yeah, that's a loss. But if you can also take a screenshot of the time that you won and be like, yeah. But the thing is, if you leave the market, if you leave the game, then it's a total loss. I remember, and I don't know if you guys remember this, in 2017, a lot of people who got into crypto for the first time, they were like, Ethereum's a scam, Bitcoin's a scam. Everyone calls everything a scam that they don't fucking quite get, right? Everything's a fucking scam all the time. And yeah, some things might be, but explain why. Tell me the reasons why. Like, why? Like, you just fucking say, like, it's like, oh, it's a scam, it's the devil, right? And so when you label things like that without much explanation, then to me, I'm just like, you're not an educated person at all. You just fucking label things a certain way and run away. So basically, yeah. So like, if everyone's going to sit around here and just judge and whatever, like, we're not going to ever make it in life. My philosophy and my concept is like, if you want to make big gains, what's happening? What's the cutting edge of things? What's going to get me up? What's going to get me, going in life, whatever. Like, and sometimes you got to take risks, right? Hex is strong. Your thoughts, could Pulse Chain launch save us? Davis. Well, okay, right now I'm not too sure. Okay, overall market sentiment, should I say? Like, first off, I think Terra has to get back to its peg. We need to see some recovery from Bitcoin, obviously, and then we might see some movement at all. But the reason why I'm saying this is because no matter what kind of great projects we'll see, no matter like what might happen to an individual coin, the thing is like, Bitcoin is still the leader from all of this. If Bitcoin doesn't boom, if Bitcoin doesn't like come back up to a certain point, like all of these micro kind of news and things that happens to alts and things like that, I don't think it's going to change it much, because everything is still dependent on Bitcoin. Yeah. So for all of you guys tuning in, no, I am not like, yes, I'm okay. I'm not fucking broke, you son of a bitch. Didn't you see my video? I was playing a game, god dang it. No, I'm not really broke. But so okay, son of a bitch. It's not okay. It's funny to joke around, but goddamn, y'all some assholes laughing at people's downfalls. So, but one of the things that I'm invested into is what I'm telling you guys today. Yeah, like at one point, Terra Luna for me was like $1.6 million. 1.6 million amazing dollars. But here's the thing. I have many other options and many other things that can get me that same amount of money, um, because I'm diversified. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, baby. Yes, I lost most of it, but was it all my crypto? No, I got Bitcoin, baby. I got other things, baby. But are we seeing an overall dip? Yes. It fucking sucks. And so here's the thing, right? A lot of you guys are like, fuck Luna, fuck. It's all about Hex, it's all about Solana, it's all about whatever. Fine. You guys you could cheerlead for your fucking coin. It doesn't matter. For me, I'm an all-out investor, and for me, I'm not married to any coin. I feel like I think it's great. If a project is great, it's great. You move on. And then you get into something else. During the bear, what ends up happening is I think you should probably go for something safer. I mean, that's what I would do, but which coin that is, that's up to you to decide what you believe is a safer concept. I mean, you might not even want to be in crypto, right? But it's like, what part of your money are you going to spend toward this? What can you survive doing? And then that brings me to my next point. So like at this point, if y'all lost, if you're investing for the first time, you probably don't want to hear this shit. But what I've done is I figured out a baseline of what my living expenses are. What is my monthly mortgage? What is my phone bill? What is my fucking food costs, my travel expenses, all that stuff. I calculated all that stuff out. Every one, like, so what is my bills every once a month, right? My gas bill, my phone bill, my car, whatever it is, your groceries, whatever it is, write that shit down. Find a way, like if you don't, and this is for people that maybe are freelance or maybe making money from passive income or whatever it is. Find a way to make that consistently, religiously, safely. You got to have that covered first and foremost. And I know some of you guys might be like, that's fucking duh. You know what? A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people get burnt because they over leverage, meaning that's why they borrow. That's why this is the shit that hurts my fucking heart when it goes above and beyond that. So here we go. Try to find that monthly, write that number down. You know, it could be $5,000, $3,000, whatever it is for you. That's your monthly, right? Now, whether you have that amount, you know, because you make it in like, you know, your salary, like let's say your salary is $5,000, you live on 3,000, then every month put a portion aside to what you believe is good for your monthly payments of investments or whatever you find feasible to you. Don't go all in, dude. Like, please don't fuck yourself like that. I think that's what ends up happening when people, you know, they go more than they can, you know, they basically bite off more than they can chew. And I'm like, oh, guys, man. But I mean, I was guilty of it my first run, and this is why the second run I did it differently. There's other ways that you can come up with passive income, the safer route, the slower route. And you know what, guys? Like, nothing's going to be safe completely. Stock markets can crash. Real estate can go completely decimated like it did in the 2008 recession where people lost a fuck ton of their homes. There's nothing out there in investments that are completely guaranteed. Even these fucking index funds and ETFs or whatever, you know, people are just like, you can just get an index fund. They're fucking safe forever. We really don't know. That's the thing. So you got to pay to play. But at the same time, I don't want to scare you guys. You're actually going to lose by saving money too. If you just hoard your money in a savings account, you're actually going to lose way fucking more this year than ever before. Way fucking more. And this is because the government just printed so much goddamn money. Basically, all that money's this is what inflation, right? Like, this is what inflation is. Like, you just basically, like, the government prints money, your value of the money goes down. So let me give you an example. You know, when you hear grandpas, right, talking about back in my day, coffee was 2 cents, right? You could go to fucking a diner and get coffee for like whatever. And you're like, shut up, grandpa. It's fucking now you got to get a copy for $5. And this is because they keep printing. And then, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, Mauser, you're right. Like, it's safer. But the point I'm trying to make here is everything. There's no guarantee. There's absolutely no guarantee. If you put your fucking money into anything, you have to run the risk of losing it. It's safer. Even a fucking stupid ass CD is probably safer. But this is what I'm trying to point out to people is like, you got to be careful. But at the same time, it's worse if you put that money in your savings account and you fucking absolutely get destroyed from inflation. And if you know, the thing is, like, you can leave that money in your account and say, yeah, I have this money saved up. Just watch what's going to happen. All the people that saved up their money, their hard-earned money in the 70s and the 80s and whatever, right? They left that money in their account. They didn't invest it. They didn't do shit. They lost so much. They lost so much money to inflation. So fucking much money to inflation. It's just been crazy. And that's not taught enough in school, I believe. Like the concept of losing money every year to inflation, like, that to me is probably way scarier than trying to go hard in crypto. And that's just how my mind works when it comes to these things. Andrew Lopez, you're preaching to the choir. These sheep love depreciation. Come on, Andrew. Like, well, not everyone gets this concept. That's why I think this is where my heart really goes out to, like, the regular folks, because, like, I'm not that far off, right? Like, look, like, I'm not some Wall Street dude, and I don't have like, I don't have Ivy League like level like connections, and that world is completely different. And sometimes we end up just everyday people fighting each other, fighting for scraps, and we don't have the education, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have all this stuff. And it just sucks, right? Because if everyone here was armed with the knowledge and concept, like, which is happening kind of now more than ever before, but I think that's where I'm just like, God dang, dude, I wish we can figure something out. Yeah. I did at one point in Luna, Gabriel, I had like about 1.6 mil. That was my peak. Yeah, I think Graham Stephan did a great job introducing a lot of people to finance and stuff like that. And the thing is, like, there's no, how do I put this? There's different levels to this shit, right? There's the safe and chill and fundamental aspect of it, but there's also the crazy and the risky. And the thing that kind of breaks my heart is that people don't know the fundamental aspect of it. They don't know the slow roll, and then the way you're supposed to kind of accumulate wealth, and like the more safer things to do, the boring things to do. you know, like dollar cost averaging into certain investments. Like there are safer ways to invest. But here's the thing, like crypto would probably be a lot of people's first exposure to investing. And I think that's where I'm just like, okay, uh damn, you really didn't know what you were getting yourself into. So let's talk. And hopefully you're not alone in this and you have someone helping you and supporting you, because the psychological damage that it does to people is like, I think it's pretty brutal, you know? Anyways, so okay, so for what I did is what I ended up doing was I figured out a baseline of what my monthly expenses were. I made sure that I never went over that. And then I started building a stockpile. And I said, what I love risky investments. Maybe some people wouldn't even call them investments. They would just call them gambles, which is fine. But to me, my concept behind this is, let's say I put $10 into 10 different crazy companies. Maybe I have a 1 to 10 chance, a 10% chance of success. That means if I put, you know, in one in 10 of these companies are going to skyrocket, right? And then so like I put that in, 9 might fail, 1 will go up, whatever, right? That's just kind of like the simplest way I can put it. And that to me would be my degenerate fund. That's my level high. The younger I am, the less responsibilities I have, the less people I have to take care of. I wouldn't invest like this if I had children. I wouldn't do it this style, only because the methods would change depending on how old I am, depending on my obligations, and also would depend on how many other things I have to pay, like bills, right? So first and foremost, I have my basics, what I need to survive, my survival money. Next, because I want to do a risky shit, maybe some of you guys don't have to do it like this, but this is for me. I'm going to save a whole year's worth of income. So, for example, let's say my monthly expenses is 10 grand a month, right? That means I need to have 120 grand just sitting there as shit hits the fan money. And yeah, I can lose it to inflation, whatever. But for me, that's that's just my safety net. That's like, if shit goes down, I know for sure I have 12 years, or I mean, not 12 years, 12 months that I don't have to work. Everything will be completely covered and I'll be safe and I'll be completely okay, right? So that's the first step. Maybe for you guys it will be different. Maybe your goal will be 6 months, maybe 3, right? And obviously we all have different expenses. Some of you guys, I think on average might be around 3 grand, but there's just different numbers and needs, because some of you guys might have kids, child support, you know, so it's just different amounts, right? So for me, that's my style. And I like the most craziest things to get into. So I have to, for that reason, I have to have extra backup. I have to have extra cushions. So when I'm landing hard, I can fall on many things. And so have a safety net, have money that you saved up. And then when you're ready to go, you fucking go, and never touch that bankroll, never touch it at all. Never like, you know, that's really your shit hits the fan money. Maybe for reasons like, oh, I got to pay for my fucking broken arm because the health insurance, I mean, the ambulance ride cost me $100,000 or whatever it is. But that's kind of one thing. And another thing is like, obviously, like you have different stacks. I have my crypto stack. I have, you know, I have fucking stock stack. I'm building a real estate stack. You know what I mean? So like have different stacks and don't mix and match them. But that's my style. Some of you guys won't go as hard. Some of you guys would have never touched Luna. Some of you guys would have touched only Bitcoin. And so that's fine. Just understand like what you're capable of dealing with. And sometimes you won't know until you do it. That's me. You know, I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to these kind of things, right? I'm the kind of guy that has to absolutely experience it all. I like to live and breathe and tell the story because I believe that it makes me feel alive, and I like to go up and down, and I like to feel scared, and I like to fight myself out of it. Some of you guys don't like that. I have friends who are complete fucking utter risk adverse dudes that are millionaires, and they did it on less income than me. And that goes to show sometimes discipline and doing it the boring way and all that stuff will get you in a really good place. But do I want that life? Absolutely fucking not. It is not my style. And this is what I'm saying is like there's a lot of different methods to get to your goal. Like you can definitely just, you know, like figure out what kind of person you are. Do you like an exciting, crazy, risky style? Do you like the safe and more conservative? Safe and conservative people will probably never touch crypto in the first place. And what is your industry? Like, what is your thing that you see yourself investing in or getting involved in? So I think there's a lot of those questions that people have to answer for themselves. I'm the kind of guy that will, hold on. What's up, Kevin Ton? What's up, Joe and the Jamalia fans? There will always be another bag move out there. Keep your head up. Thank you very much, Kevin. I believe it. There's always going to be other bag moves, whatever. And then this brings me to my last point is what really matters if these numbers are just numbers, and it will swing up and down. And at the end of the day, like we started this whole thing talking about suicide. And, you know, like let's talk about life and death, right? You can't bring this money to death. I can't bring this money to death. I don't even know if, you know, I believe in inheritance for my children or whatever. If I have children, like, I don't know if I'll pass down like wealth. You know, I don't know if like, I even believe like if anyone should receive something out of thin air. Maybe I'll do it in stages, like it has to be like a game or something. They have to prove themselves. I don't know. But at the end of the day, what I believe in is like all the stuff that makes people happy. Like sometimes, you know, we invest in these things because we want them to solve our problems. We want to be like, oh man, if I just make it, my life will be so much better. I just want to retire. I would be so much happier if I could get my dream car. And I've seen this time and fucking time again. And as someone who's made, you know, 7 figures through crypto, through my own company, and has bought things, you know, uncontrollably, and just like enjoyed life in a way that, you know, I'm just hella blessed and so grateful. And it's so fucking true what they say. Like money doesn't buy you happiness. Money doesn't, like, you know, it's so cliche. And I hope that everyone has the opportunity to actually realize that. I mean, like, I hope everyone here watching, I hope every fucking single one of you guys one day wins. And I want you guys to win far beyond your means, because for me, I won in life before crypto. I won in other ways where I felt like I made so much more than I ever thought was possible. And it was such a crazy feeling because when I was working in a warehouse making 12 bucks an hour, my dream car was a Dodge Challenger. I am an Asian redneck. I was thinking about doing donuts in an open field with my friends, drifting in a Dodge Challenger. And the crazy thing is, once I saw all the zeros in my bank account one day, I said, why the fuck would I want a Dodge Challenger? And I ended up getting a Jaguar F Type, which wasn't even on my radar. And you know, it's not a Lamborghini, it's not a fucking Ferrari, but I wanted money left over to get a Range Rover because I loved SUVs. But I said to myself, like, you know, it's so funny when your dreams of like hell, dude, yes, eggshell mirror Toyota Carrier. You remember my Toyota fucking Camry? That's crazy. You guys been around for quite some time. I sold that car for 500 bucks, man, but that took me everywhere. If you guys have been following my story, my struggle since what, over a decade now, you saw me working as a warehouse boy, 12 bucks an hour, whatever. And you saw me through my process. You saw me in my journey. And yeah, when that moment happened for me, you know, it was sick. Like I got to buy this, I got to, you know, not only that, like I think the best part about wealth, and I'd had this conversation with my friend. My friend, he's also a YouTuber, but he went through the journey alone. And he saw me and my buddies, and he was like, dude, I wish that I went through the journey with you guys because I missed out on my 20s while you guys got to make money with your friends. And I make way more, but I'm all alone. And I missed out on all those memories. I missed out on the vacations. I was just hustling. And then this is the thing, guys, like the happiness comes from the struggle. The happiness comes from the friendship, the memories, losing together, winning together, and everything. And so if you guys have a group of friends out there, and this is the cool thing about the, you know, Luna community or Ethereum community or any community, right? Everyone wins and loses together. And that kind of feeling, it feels much better than when you're alone. And which, you know, really what I'm reaching out to everyone here that ever has lost in crypto, stocks, business, just life, right? You lost your job, you lost everything. Like I'm here to say, like, none of that shit means anything. In the moment, you want to fucking, you feel like an absolute shit. And believe me, guys, I go through it. But every time I go through it, it gets easier. Every time I go through it, cake. If you guys are just tuning in, my Luna stack was about 1.6 million at the peak. And you could probably guess what it is right now. But I did come out clean, a couple 100,000. But I have survivor's guilt because a lot of my friends were completely wiped out. And I still have Luna that's staked. You know, it takes 21 days. Aside from that, a couple weeks ago, I unstaked, you know. And at the same time, I'm starting up a business in Hawaii. And that's going to be a hefty amount of money to start up. So there's a lot of things going on in my life. But also, here's the thing, like, I'm not the only one that lost here. And this is the thing, we're all sharing together. We're all feeling together. We're all like in this space. You guys are, some of you guys lost in your whole bank account. You know what I mean? Some of you guys like, you know, have seen loss in stocks or crypto previously and you never recovered from it. And I'm just here to tell you guys, like, life goes on. You'll hear stories about billionaires going bankrupt and then they go at it again. Now, by no means am I at that level, but I'm pretty much more closer to you guys than a billionaire is. And hopefully it could give you guys a sign of just that feeling and that realization that, like, oh shit, you know, like If a dumbass like Joe can do it, I can do it too. And so the thing is, oh yeah, and if you guys are worried about Steve, no sweat. So like me and him, we've been on, we've actually been on the end of on the calming end, helping end. Like this is our second time seeing a huge dip in crypto. So we're kind of seasoned to seeing crazy swings. But thank you guys for, considering him. He's actually on his crypto corner right now, like talking to his crew. I'm probably gonna go on there. Not sure. But yeah, he has his whole like group that he talks to privately, and they've been doing it like weekly for years. Like he has his whole little group that he does that for. But my purpose behind all of this was like reaching out to maybe people in the Luna community, the crypto community, people that haven't seen me ever before. Um, I'm talking maybe like it all started with me talking to my Facebook group, and I want to talk to people on YouTube, beyond my fans, beyond people that might not know me on JK, and yeah, I think really it's all about that. Like, yeah, hopefully by telling my story, you guys don't feel so bad about your own, right? And damn, I did miss something here. I did see someone's message right here. Sam Z said, I lost my entire net worth. And well, I'm not laughing at you, bro. I know how that feels, and haven't had the urge to look at anyone or talk to anyone. Worse than shit. Well, I'm glad you're here, Sam, because like there's a lot of people out there just like you, I think, that are alone here. And I've heard many stories. There's people out there that probably got laughed at by all their friends and family. Not only just, being a part of Terra Luna, but crypto in general. I'm sure all crypto heads know what I'm talking about. When you're an early adopter, some of the closest people that you love will judge you. And it doesn't always come from the worst of places. It comes from a place of fear. They don't want you to do something stupid. They don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you do that, right? Same with anything else. Like if even stocks, some people still believe stocks are a scam because they don't understand it. And sometimes it comes from like, more traditional old folks that just believe in saving up cash and putting up in a safe. And believe me, like a lot of Asians are like that. Like if you come from a new immigrant family, they just believe in holding cold hard cash and keeping it under a mattress. And yeah, there's a lot of people out there that would question your, what you're doing. And the hardest thing to almost do sometimes is to look at them after a crash and go, yeah, like, yeah, I'm still gonna be a part of crypto. And yeah, and they're gonna still talk shit to you. You can still make money if you're still young. Yes, WC, you're completely right. I wanted to point that out because this is what I was trying to say earlier is depending on your age, your risk tolerance is going to change. Maybe your emotional risk tolerance is not the same, but what I mean by that is, let's say if you're 18 years old and you lose $1 million, you have so many years to try and make that million again. And on top of that, with inflation and the prices and how things are going on, like that million to make back, you'll have a higher likelihood of doing so versus someone who's in their late 50s. Like let's say you're getting into crypto now in your late 50s and you're doing bold moves or whatever, and you lose $1 million, it's going to be much harder for you if you don't have high earning potential. Because the difference is usually people in their 50s are at the peak of their careers. They're like in a higher level position. But if you're not earning high, and if you have no education or a skill set that can make you a lot of money, you're pretty much stuck, right? It's going to be way harder. But if you're 18, your earning potential isn't high, but you can do riskier things. And this was my philosophy, and this is my concept. And TKC, yeah, what about old men like me, right? So I'm almost 40. I'm 30. I just turned 38, right? And so for me, riskiness changes with age, but also responsibility. So, for example, if I'm a 60-year-old and I'm a single man, I have nobody to take care of, or maybe, I'm with someone, but they make their own money, whatever. I can probably still go hard. It depends on your situation. But most people, I would say, generally speaking, young people have so much opportunity to go hard with business adventures, make all those mistakes and risky things. Um, not financial advice, obviously, but in theory, right? You guys get what I'm saying. Like, there's so many risk adverse college students and whatever. And it's like, to be honest, you guys don't have anything to lose. And so, yeah, Benjamin, you're right. Who has $1 million to lose when they're 18? Good point, right? But what I mean by that is, like, let's say if you make $1 million at a young age and then you lose $1 million at a young age, you still have a chance to make it back. So I should have been more specific, but that's what I mean. The older you get, it's about preserving wealth. The younger you are, it's about gaining wealth, right? Unless you have a trust fund, but most of us don't. So for me, it's like, how do I increase my chances? I'm not gonna. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna get a career in it. I've dedicated my life to entertainment, to entrepreneurship. So a lot of things can go wrong, but I think the wealth of an entrepreneur is the skill set, the network, and the people, and all that stuff. Because, and I think this is why a lot of entrepreneurs, when they go bankrupt, they can just go right back again, because they have the same context. And then the more successful you become, the more outs you get. And I don't want to ring these like support calls, but I'm pretty damn sure there's so many people that I made rich and helped over the years, and I asked for nothing in return, that if I was in a deep place, like shit place, like, people would just come to my rescue. And I think because we have no retirement plans as entrepreneurs, most of us just find ways to constantly give and help and support each other. Because if you don't do that, you have nothing. You have to do it. You don't have bosses. You don't have anyone you can rely on. That's literally like, there's social currency as well as actual currency. But really, like, if you guys are getting into the game, it's really about making like these different safety cushions. You have insurances, right? You have money that you saved up for yourself. You have, different streams of income, and this stuff is built over time. And I don't have all the answers, guys. I'm just trying to help you guys based off of what's worked for me and my lifestyle, and give you guys a different perspective. If you've been hurt by Terra Luna, the crypto dips that's going on right now, and a lot of the times people freak out from unrealized gains. If things just drop, it's just dropping. That's all it is. Like, if you're in Bitcoin, no sweat. But yeah, exactly. Just exactly. I remember when Bitcoin was down 80% in January 2018, then it shot to six. Exactly. So you're not ever, you're not really lost unless you end up like realizing that loss by selling out. It's just selling it and saying, "Peace, baby, I'm gone." Oh, Alonzo, you lost 10K on Terra. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Um I think whatever we do, though, we want to make sure that you're playing with. Everyone says this, and I hate to be like parroting the same shit, but we like don't play with money you can't afford to lose. And I mean, that's not even like trying to give you guys advice or anything. That's just the reality. Like, aside from like, people are getting really into just talking about Terra Luna only, crypto only, right? Or stock only, or one thing. You got to look at your life as a whole and how you're going to safeguard yourself from your actions. Because us being human beings, we're hella impulsive. We react. We have fears. We have dreams. We have all these emotions that fuck with us. Not all of us can be absolute robots, right? And so it's difficult to rely on that when you're having a bad day. Like, if you guys notice, like, have you guys noticed, like, when you're trying to make a decision, when you're feeling sad, all of your answers become negative. In most cases, at least most people I know, they think this way. And then when you're feeling great about life and confident and positive, all of your decisions tend to be a little bit more adventurous and risky and whatever, right? And this is what happens in investing. When you're investing, you're just like absolutely on a high. This is why they call it hopium, right? Everyone's like clapping, hell yeah, they're like giving each other high fives. This is gonna work, this is gonna be great, right? So you feel this like group energy. You feel everybody feel like you feel that amazing like movement, everything's gonna be okay. Then you make the decisions. I'm gonna buy more, I'm gonna do this, I feel great about it. But what's gonna keep us protected from ourselves? Because although that shit is fun, how many humans have been burnt from all of that shit? And that's the thing when it comes to investing, is like, just know that like all of this shit can go to zero at any given time. Now, there's probability of it, probably highly unlikely not to for certain things. Just like my girl pointed out earlier about the index fund. Okay. Yes, highly unlikely. It is pretty much a safe one, but still it can, because there's no guarantees, right? And crypto is really on the real bad end of it, where crypto's like, I think crypto's like really risky still. It's still not safe. Like, people will be like, oh, I'm in something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's safer, whatever. But in reality, crypto as a whole, it's still a crazy, risky, crazy project. And that's just kind of what I want to point out to you guys, is like, hopefully from this point on, and then if you guys never invested either or whatever, like, if you could take a quick way of like how you can protect yourself from your own actions, how you can possibly safeguard yourself so you can, discipline your strategy just by a little bit. Make sure your money's okay. You're not spending, your own life savings or anything. And like, it gets exciting, but this is the key. I just want to share a few things here. This kind of struck out to me real quick. Kongal says, I'm relatively new to crypto, but also lost $500,000 on stock. Only better side compared to crypto is that rarely stock goes to zero, but equally painful to see such bleeding for the past few months. So I'm assuming that you're talking about unrealized losses where you just saw a massive dip in your portfolio. It's still shocking to see that. And this is what I mean. Like, for me, whether it goes up or down, It doesn't really freak me out unless I need the money, I need to cash out or whatever, because it's a long game for me. But it's still shocking to see a number dip. It's still scary. It's also very hopeful. But recently, I read this thing from a philosopher. He said the same type of people that get excited when things are great will be the same type of people that will get dramatically sad when things are bad, because they react to external events. And this is going into a whole different realm, but I want to pull it back into like what really matters in our lives. So, regardless if things go up or down, money does well, money doesn't do well, we gain a job, a new promotion, whatever. I think it's really something we got to focus on is like what really makes you happy, what really makes you feel fulfillment. And we have to try our best to psychologically separate these things between, what makes you feel fulfilled. Because I know that whether I make $1 million or I make zero or I'm on the streets, I have people that absolutely love me. And that's the whole beauty of it for me, at least, is I have a social support network. I have a beautiful woman that I sleep next to every night. She rubs my back. When I'm sad, she hugs me. I can call up my mom, have a long conversation. Not every one of us have that. And really just going back to being a human being, I think that's the most important thing you got to do is like understand, hey, like this world in these numbers, this phone, what we see going up and down, that's fucking meaningless. Because when you're on that deathbed, when you're sick even, you're going to realize that this shit's absolute fucking bullshit. It means nothing. It's just numbers. What am I going to do and enjoy a brand new fucking car if I'm about to die in 3 days? Right? Or like, what's the fucking point of it all? What really is the point if you're just going to be a bitter piece of shit and you might be rich one day, but then you kick out everybody around you, your family, your friends, people that you love, you're all alone, and then you're just a bitter piece of shit. You're a rich, bitter fucking billionaire. And we hear so many of these stories where you're just this mean fucking bitter ass billionaire and no one likes you. And I think that that's really something you have to like focus on is like, what at the end of the day are you going to do? Like, yeah, wealth it's great, but are you going to put your happiness, your identity, who you are in crypto, in stocks, in your business, all these things, right? Like, what's that going to do? And I probably think that like all of those things will not matter, even if you make it. And I guarantee you, none of that shit like really matters if you don't have your friends and family with you along for the ride. And how about your health? Like, I when I was going through my entrepreneurial phase, there was been like a year where I slept like 3 hours a night. I got fat as fuck. I was having sleep apnea, choking in my sleep, super stressed out. I got really, really depressed. And it took me like 2-3 years to recover from that. And I realized, dude, like, what's the point of this like hashtag hustle life? And you make all this money, but then if you get sick, if you get tired, if you get weak, like the fuck? And then what's the point if you lose it all? So you lose all your fucking money and you lose your health? It's going to be brutal, right? So some of these things I had to kind of learn the hard way. And I'm just trying to let you guys know, like, really, health is probably one of the biggest things that makes me happy. Like, literally waking up, being able to work out, being able to run around with my friends, being able to go see my like friends' kids, throw them in the air, being active, being able to hike. That shit is for free, guys. And if you put your happiness in things like that, completely separate from your business invest, those things are going to win. Those things are going to crush it. But just like you got to diversify your investments, you got to diversify your happiness. You got to diversify in things that's going to make you feel great. You know, find a good partner, find a good, you know, friendship, find all these different things where you have so much just absolute fucking wealth when it comes to people that love you, people that support you, so many fucking people around you that you're just fucking drowning in love, that like you're just like, I don't give a fuck about $1,000,000. I get to go home tonight and get a blowjob and sleep like a motherfucker. And I get to do this again. I get to do this again where I'm gonna fucking blow another $1,000,000 and let's roll. Let's fucking go. And I'm gonna laugh about it with my friends. And I'm gonna fucking cry about it with my friends. And that's what living's about. We go through these ups and downs, but don't lose track of what really makes you happy and what makes you really good. And that should be absolutely separate from, you know, what we want. And I feel like a lot of the times why people want to make it in crypto, why people want to make it in investments and business, they're chasing happiness, they're chasing love, they're chasing all these things. And I've seen it over and over and over again. And it becomes this obsession because you don't get love that way. And that's just kind of where I want to end it with here. We started off with, you know, people absolutely offing themselves because they lost in crypto. And I just wanted to share my story because I wanted you guys to know that, hey, man, I lost twice and I lost big, but I love my life. I love crypto. I'm going back in this motherfucker. Call me stubborn, but that's just the way I roll. And hopefully, you know, in these past couple of hours, if you guys felt absolutely like shit because you went through something or whatever, I hope, you know, like we were able to bond. I hope that like you guys got a piece of what's been happening here. And maybe it changed your perspective a little bit. Maybe it kind of snapped you out of this lonely downside. Whatever you're going through, this has been something that I've always liked doing, you know, and it's always been connecting with you guys, the community, and hoping that you know, just by me sharing my story has somewhat gave you a little bit of insight into how I deal with stuff. And maybe for you guys too, you know, you guys can basically take this, bring it in. You can kind of reset, live for another day, move forward, and love life, love your friends, everything. You know, I think that's what it's all about. But anyways, it's all about spreading that love and win. Because when there's a time of crisis, I feel like it's just, as humans, we just got to reach out and say what's up. But anyways, hopefully this was a fun stream. Thank you guys for showing up. We had quite a bit of people stay on for quite some time, man. And maybe I'll do this more again. Let me know. But I'll leave this one up. I'm going to save this. And hopefully other people that haven't been a chance to see this stuff, yeah, you guys can too. All right. Till next time, guys. See ya.